Stay tuned for Retire Your Way with Dale Soutas, a leading financial retirement strategist and the founder of Soutas Financial and Insurance Solutions, right here in Fresno. Every week, Dale discusses pressing financial topics of the week, ranging from reliable income strategies to our financial markets, including Social Security, tax strategies, wealth management, RMDs, legacy planning, long-term care solutions, and most importantly, how to make sure you have enough guaranteed lifetime income to retire your way with choice and dignity. From taxes to trends to total transparency, Dale covers it all. And now, here is Retire Your Way and Dale Soutas. This is Retire Your Way with Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial, here to help you with retirement planning all throughout the year. And even as we roll through summertime in the middle of the year, a good summer read, a practical guide to building your retirement plan. Going down to the beach, hanging out of the house, soaking up some of those rays. Wouldn't that be a great book to read? Well, Dale is going to talk you through it today. Dale, how you doing, buddy?
I am doing fine. Unbelievable, as they say. How's that?
Wonderful. No, it's been big. What really happens when it comes to like phone calls and appointments in the middle of the year? Do people, is it a constant flow, or do things kind of taper off a little bit because everybody's in beach blanket mode and traveling and stuff like that? Or do people still focus?
No, I think what's nice about, let's say, summertime, you got people taking vacations. They have more free time and they can, squeak out a day, part of it, a couple hours to come in and, see where they're at, tune up their plan or, create a plan. They have more time, especially those in the, let's say, the school business, teaching and all that, and they have more time. And so I don't notice a big difference in whether we have more or less people coming in to see us or not. Plus, we have ones that we take care of throughout the year. Mm-hmm. So we don't just start a plan and say, "Okay, great, go see you, never again." No, we like to regularly touch bases with them and make sure their plan is still what they need it to be. Because we develop a plan and they are tickled and they retire. Then we like to, usually within 6 months is our goal, to re-up the plan. In other words, re-look at everything in case, they've done things differently. Sometimes people have things come up that cost more money, or they want to do more things, which is good. And so we can tweak their plan along the way and along with just the regular annual reviews. But I don't think there's a drop in people seeing us. I think it's pretty steady. Hence, we needed more room. We moved to Palm near Bullard, and we have more room. And I've got 2 people working on their licensing to be able to do more advising as well. So
that's why we like to say Dale Soutas and the team at Soutas Financial, his team of folks. Hey, by the way, quick reminder, if you just have a question or want a topic that we haven't talked about, please always feel free to write Dale. Let's flood the inbox. You can write him at info@soutas.com. That's info, the @ symbol, and SOUTAS.com. Shoot him a question. Whatever's on your mind. We'll see how much we can help you, even just, through a quick email. I'll give out that phone number in a little while as well.
Yeah. Or they can even call and say, "Hey, I'm not ready to set a time, but could we hear more info on this subject or this subject?" Give us things that maybe we're not talking about enough that you'd like to hear more on. So just feel free to reach out that way.
Absolutely. So, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with that first step, and planning for retirement sometimes can feel like a big, long journey, and it's easy to push things off. So today we're going to talk about a practical guide, practical steps, easy steps to get going. In fact, getting to the gym, the hardest part isn't, the working out and the sets. Sometimes it's putting the stuff in the gym bag and getting in the car. That's the hardest thing sometimes about working out, is just getting yourself started. So today we want to help you get started. But my first question for you, Dale, is when it comes to planning, What about folks who don't even want to get started because they feel like they're behind, they're too late, they're too intimidated, maybe even embarrassed about what they didn't know? What would you like to say to those folks?
Well, first of all, uh, those of you out there, you have your own career. You do things that many people don't know how to do. When people come in, we talk about, I get acquainted with them. So, what type of work do you do or were you doing in the past? And I let them know, hey, great. Don't ask me to do that because I'd mess it up in a heartbeat. I do know how to help people. And I don't ever want people to feel bad about whatever amount they've saved or have I started saving or am I using the right investment tools or strategies? These types of things. Just let's put our heads together. I'm looking at it. Will your plan work? Are you going to be okay? It's much like going to a doctor. Are you embarrassed to go to the doctor because maybe you don't feel good, but you don't want to tell them you don't feel good, or you want to make sure that your health is okay? You're going to answer the questions. You're still going to share with them, how you feel. So it's the same here, but more private and a better environment. You don't have to get poked and prodded here. It's easier. So don't worry. I mean, many times I have people who don't necessarily have as much as they think they should have. And then when we do crunch the numbers together and show them maybe they do need to work or they still plan to work a year or two or 5 or whatever. And with a little coaching, they know how to save in a better way. Maybe it's so that they have more, or maybe so they pay less taxes. There's a number of ways we look at your situation to coach you. And even if we don't make any money off of helping you today, that's okay. It's more important to know that you're on the right track and how to do things. And, so I don't want people to be afraid.
Yeah, does everything need to be perfect to get started on a plan? I mean, what if
Nope.
it feels like it's messy, or you're unsure about your job or even your health and what's going on? You don't have to do financial planning only if the world is great and you just won a lottery, right?
Right. Yeah, you don't wait till, and you don't want to do your planning when you're like right at retirement or, oh, I already retired now. Will it work? No, it's better to know ahead of time so you comfortably move into retirement. Recently, I had a couple come in and we're talking, and you could tell she's very nervous. Will I be able to retire? Will the money last? He's ready to retire. In fact, going to be retired the end of this year. And she's a few years younger, and she thinks she needs to work 5 more years. And but he would like her to retire sooner so they can get on to doing more of the fun things that they would like to do in their retirement. And so, in crunching the numbers and talking to her and helping her to see, even if she retired in 2 years instead of working all 5, they would be A-OK with what they need. And it's fun because I tell people all the time and I show them, okay, you show me that you need this much month in, month out to pay the bills. Okay, I'm going to kind of buffer it. I'm going to increase that amount. You say you need this little bit to do all the fun things, what I call the play check goal. Well, I usually increase it quite a bit too. So when I do that, I inflate their goals. I play down what their money could do for them and put it out to see, will their money last? And with them, I think she could even retire the end of the year with her husband and their money will be A-OK. But it's nice to show her that she can return a couple years, and she left the office knowing, hey, everything will be okay. She doesn't have to worry about the money lasting because the plan was put out to her age 100, and there was still quite a bit left over, more than what they started with. So, which is many times what I see in working out properly constructed income plans, retirement plans. So I don't want people worrying about that down the road.
Yeah. There's many different powerful planning tools that can help you figure out the numbers. There are legislative things that are put in place with our retirement accounts that help you if you feel like you're behind, like catch-up contributions and super catch-up contributions. There's a lot that can be done if it's later. So I always like to say, if you're feeling like you're behind, don't feel too bad, because most people feel like they're behind. When we get back, we're going to talk about how exactly do we know if we've saved enough to retire. I know that I've asked you that question before. I might ask it once a year to you, and we've known each other for a while. But I want to know if there's a difference today in 2026 and what numbers you like to look at and how you evaluate that. Before we go out to break, though, Dale, let's tell everybody how they can get in touch with us. What's on your website? I know we've got the film there. It's an incredibly powerful tool. I'll give them the website, but the baby boomer dilemma.
Well, we have access to where people can see trailers to 2 videos that provide financial education. One is the baby boomer dilemma, which exposes America's retirement experiment. It's a good one. The other one is more for the younger ones, and we need to teach our kids and grandkids how to save for their future and keep Uncle Sam out of their retirement savings. And that's called The Power of Zero. There's actually a book with the same title. And again, the 2-minute trailers to each of those movies are on our website. And if they appeal to you, you say, oh, I'd like to see that, then just reach out to us. We'll send you access to those, and you'll own the movies. You'll be able to watch them over and over if you want. But they're excellent for free financial education, as well as we're working on our website to hopefully have some additional tools, access to our monthly events at Fresno State. We have different topics that we cover there too.
833-856-1382 is the phone number if you'd like to call and find out how do you get a time with Dale. There's no cost to it. How do we get started on your own written financial plan? But as Dale was talking about, lots of information on the website, and we're continuing to build even more on it. If you want to schedule a time, you can also do that at the website, Soutas.com, Soutas.com, with your financial advisor, Dale Soutas. More with Dale and Retire Your Way right after this.
Will you outlive your money? It's a scary thought, but it's a real concern for many people. In our opinion, that's why it's crucial to have a solid retirement plan in place. We believe that with proper planning, you can work towards making your money last as long as you do. Don't wait until it's too late to start thinking about your financial future. Call Dale Soutas and the team at Soutas Financial today to learn how we can help you create a retirement plan that can potentially help you obtain peace of mind and security for years to come. Don't let the fear of running out of money in retirement keep you up at night. Take control of your financial future today. Start your Retire Your Way review and financial plan by calling 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
For those approaching and in retirement, the perfect economic storm has arrived. The highest inflation in over 4 decades, the end to the 13-year bull run of the stock market, looming increases in tax rates, and rising interest rates all spell trouble for your retirement savings. At Soutas Financial and Insurance Services, our mission is to provide you a clear income path that lasts all the way through your retirement years, no matter what storms are ahead. Call Dale Soutas and Soutas Financial right now for your own complimentary retirement storm strategy. 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382. Welcome back to Retire Your Way with Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial. Whether you're listening to us in Fresno, San Jose, Modesto, Santa Cruz, Visalia, Selma, how many towns? You're getting phone calls from all over the states. I know.
Yeah, Merced. Like you said, Modesto. We got Visalia. We've got Tulare. I think even Bakersfield picks up some of the signal down that far. But all over, anywhere in California, really, we can help people. I have people. It was kind of interesting to me. I had somebody call in, and he actually lives in San Diego. And I go, well, how did you hear about us? He was on I-5 driving his daughter to San Francisco to college and heard our show. And so it amazes me that, people hear this, obviously as you're running errands and going in and out of places. And, it just, it's really nice to meet people of various areas, backgrounds, careers. There's no two people identical and no two plans that are the same.
Well, okay, that's incredibly interesting because it leads me to the question I was going to ask you right now. How today, and again, sometimes I feel like I answer you this question once a year. How do you know if you have saved enough for retirement, especially when everyone is so different, everyone's spending is so different, everyone's family is so different, everyone's longevity is completely different?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, you see online, there's a bunch of ads or little boxes on some of those websites that, if you've saved $1 million, talk to us. Well, you don't have to have $1 million to talk to, me and my team. Sometimes people have less than 100,000. I don't care. What do you need help with? Okay, we put on our Fresno State events. The little, what's it called, a tablecloth that we put on a table when I go to some of my high-powered rocket events way out in the middle of a dairy field in Helm, what's that, west of Carruthers. And we have our, what's the name of our show? Retire Your Way is on the tablecloth, right? And I have my rocket that's almost 9 feet tall with the logo colors and our logos on it, and our Central California Rocket Club, the president came up last year, and he says, "So, do I need 2 or 3 million to retire?" Now, keep in mind, he's out of the Bay Area, Sunnyvale area. And I just laughed and I just said, I don't know. I mean, what's your spending? What do you need, in retirement? There's no dollar amount. It's what are you about first? I like to get to know you. What do you like doing? And you're working now, but if you're not working, you have all this free time, your health is great, and money is not a concern at all. If I get you thinking that way, what would you be doing or doing more of in retirement? It's that simple. And I want people to dream and do. I don't want them to be a hermit unless they really want to. You've worked hard all your life for what? Do you want to just sit at home and twiddle your thumbs, or be worried about long-term care down the road and save all my, I can't spend a penny because I might need care? No, I don't want you doing it that way. Do the things you want to do in retirement. Once I understand that and we start putting some dollar amounts on those, then we look at, okay, what's your income, projected income? What's the amount of savings, the various types of savings and such? Then we start crunching the numbers, and most people find they're going to be A-okay. They think, oh, I haven't saved enough. And most of the time I say, you're wrong. You did save enough. You're going to be okay. So it's fun. I enjoy what we do in helping people relax about their future and their retirement.
And we want to make sure that we get the future of your retirement correct. How do you know if you've saved enough? Different for everybody, the different factors. If you want to find out for you, give us a buzz. We say it all the time, 833-856-1382. I'm also plugging the website just to let people know you can schedule there. You can find out more about Dale there. We've got some movie trailers there. Soutas.com, Soutas.com is the website. The knowing if we've saved enough, there's so many different factors. So I'm gonna throw you a smorgasbord. You pick your favorite, or you pick your most worrisome. A lot of people have saved for retirement, but a lot of that money is in tax deferred accounts. Do they have all of that? Or are you worried about how much you're going to spend in healthcare costs in your retirement years? So how do you know if you've saved enough? Or what about when and how to take your Social Security, and is it going to be there? How do you know if you've saved enough to retire? Isn't just about your savings amount, Dale. There's a lot of different factors. Right. So which do you look at first, or what's more important to you?
First, well, I look at all of them. Yet we're looking at life expectancy. So the one risk out there that magnifies taxes, your accounts lasting, all of these different factors. Long-term care is longevity. People are living longer. So if we're living longer, well, we need to know that our money will last with inflation. If it's a single person, I might push it to, if it's a male, 95, a female's always is 100. If it's a married couple, it's always to the female's age, 100. I build inflation into their goals so that, what they need now isn't really what they need way down the road. It needs to inflate. We need to also have systems where we understand, how to properly take money out of those tax-deferred accounts most tax efficiently, or even strategies, if it's possible, to convert them while tax rates are low to Roth, so that the future draws from those accounts are tax-free instead of taxable. So especially for married couples, people, I don't think they get it that, yeah, we're okay, great, but you've saved $200,000 or $2 million in a tax-deferred 401k, 403b, TSP, whatever, and you're married, and we could draw from that. Yeah, that's true. But if one of you passes away, you're going from the low married tax rates to the highest single tax rates. And, I try to encourage people to think realistically. 5, 10, 20 years from now, where likely will tax rates go? Are they going to get smaller, lower? Are they going to stay the same, or are they going to increase? And rarely do I have anybody that even says it's going to stay the same. Everybody says they're going to go higher. So we have to plan ways to reduce even future taxes if at all possible. So there's a lot of things that go into that, as well as estate planning. I mean, that's been our topic at Fresno State lately on, do you have the proper legal documents so that your real estate passes without probate to the kids? I just had a case recently, unfortunately, where 2 years ago, these children, brother and sister, who still live in mom's home now, mom passed away, unexpectedly, but she did not have a trust. She didn't even have beneficiaries listed on her large 401k and some money in the bank. And she had beneficiaries on a couple small accounts, which were, obviously the 2 kids. Yet 2 years later, they're finally through the probate process at a cost, at a cost of just shy of $30,000 to get it through that whole process. And now we can start putting things together for the kids to be able to keep going. So, but it was all tied up in probate. They were, everything was in limbo, and you don't need that. How do you make sure you have and keep them up to date? You have the beneficiaries. How do you make sure you pass real estate without probate? The trust vehicle is the best for real estate. Yet, but having beneficiaries, and so there's a variety of things that we look at when you come in. It's not just have you saved enough, but have you, structured things properly for your future, and if it's important for that leftovers of your money assets to go to your beneficiaries, then we want to make sure you know how to have that structured properly.
And that's why we always leave open the phone number for our listeners to reach out to. It's complicated. There's a lot of different factors to think about. How do you know if you've saved enough for yourself to retire? We wish it would be a simple answer. We wish we could say, oh, here's the dollar amount you got to shoot for. It will be different for all of you, or we'll have different timelines. Some folks are, great here in California, going to have long, healthy lifestyles. And so we want to make sure that we've got enough to last as long as you do, and maybe even beyond. And it really is putting a lot of different pieces together. So if you'd like to know what it looks like for you, schedule your time. Come into the office or talk to Dale over the phone, whichever you prefer. But you can do that right here. By the way, when you call this number right now, it's not going to interrupt the program. It's going to go over to our call center, and we'll set up a time for you. So we can do it over phone, Zoom, or in person so you can see Dale's face. 833-856-1382 is the phone number. That's 833-856-1382. Or go to the website. Schedule your own time there. Soutas.com. Soutas.com. What exactly do you do with the investments now that you're going into retirement? We're going to talk about the nuts and bolts of what you do when we get back right after this.
Are you worried that you waited too late to start your retirement planning? That you waited too late to start saving? At Soutas Financial, we believe it's never too late to start planning for your future. We can help you develop a personalized retirement plan that is tailored to your current needs and goals. The team at Soutas Financial will sit down with you and provide an evaluation of your current path, including your investment strategy, tax planning, and risk management approach. We'll help you identify potential areas for improvement and work with you to create a retirement plan that is designed to help you work towards having financial security and peace of mind in retirement. It's not too late for you to get started with Soutas Financial. Call us today to schedule your complimentary retirement planning session. We believe we can help you get on the path to financial security and peace of mind in retirement. Call Dale Soutas and the team at Soutas Financial to get started on your own complimentary written financial plan. Call 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
Will I run out of money in retirement? That's a hard question to answer if you've never been retired. How do you grow your investments without taking too much risk, but also considering what you'll pay in taxes? Should you convert your tax-deferred accounts into Roth accounts for tax-free growth later? Don't forget about inflation. Instead of questions about your retirement, turn to answers and solutions. From Dale Soutas and Soutas Financial. Call and ask for your own complimentary retirement solution review. 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382 for your complimentary retirement solution review.
Do you know how much you might be paying in fees within your retirement accounts? Just 1 or 2% in hidden fees can eat into your savings and potentially hinder your ability to achieve your retirement goals. But how do you know if you're currently paying these hidden fees, and how do you find them? Dale Soutas and the team at Soutas Financial can help you find the fees within your investments and explore solutions designed to assist with minimizing them. Take control of your retirement savings so that you can work towards keeping more of your hard-earned money. Call for your very own complimentary Retire Your Way review and Fee Finder report. Let us help work towards finding, exposing, and helping to eliminate those potential hidden fees for you. Call Dale Soutas and Soutas Financial today for your complimentary fee review. 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
Welcome back to Retire Your Way with Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial, helping you every single week here on the radio, trying to be and stay retired. Today we're talking about a practical guide to retirement planning strategies, practical things you need to think about, like a good summer read, like a good book on the beach. Sometimes you need a good book to help you fall asleep, but not this. This practical guide, really some useful information for you. Dale, the nuts and bolts, the mechanics, the instruction manual. How exactly do you shift the investments from your retirement account to your U account and turn it into income? Or do you have to shift them from your former employer? But what do you actually physically do? We're told to save for 40 years. Now what do you do with it?
Right. I mean, a lot of times people are real, thrilled that I've saved X amount of dollars over the years, and it's a lump of money, as I call it. And yet, what do you need to maintain your lifestyle is, steady, predictable, increasing income through the years. Social Security may not be enough. If you got a pension along with Social Security, that might not be enough. Rental income can be good. Let's say you have all three of those. You have Social Security, rental income, a pension. Maybe your income's really decent. Yet rental income, you got to understand, is not guaranteed lifetime income. Obviously, if you have a time where something happens and that property is not rented out, you're not getting income, but you still have some expenses to that property. But not that that's a big worry. My main point of this is, so you've got this lump of money you've saved through work or whatever. What I see a lot of times, unfortunately, is people have changed jobs, gone from one employer to another, and they don't do anything with the old 401ks, 403bs, TSPs. Maybe they went out of the government arena to private sector and have 401ks now. So you have the right, if you're no longer working for that former company, to move that 401k, 403b, whatever that account is, because most of the older retirement plans have more limited type investment options, more like stocks, bonds, and cash. I love it when people, no, I have mutual funds. Well, great. Well, most mutual funds are just a combination of several pieces of stock or several pieces of bonds. But you want to have them more diversified. You want to have things like commodities, real estate. You want to have more options, and moving those out of the former company's hands, you can move them into individual retirement account, an IRA, and you'd have more options, even tools that if you needed down the road more income, you can have them in tools that you can activate income in your future. So there's a variety of things that we coach people to do. With their, especially if you have older accounts that they're just still sitting there. Once in a while, I run into people and they totally forgot about an account they have with the former employer, and so we have to kind of dig up the custodian who holds the money and walk them through how to get that transferred into, again, their own account. But the nuts and bolts. Even if you're working and now you're getting closer to retirement, if you're 59 and a half and older, a lot of your 401k and company-sponsored retirement plans, you can actually move some or all of it out, what they call an in-service rollover, and start setting things up if you're within, if you're after 59 and a half and we need to reposition it for whatever, a different risk tolerance or for future income, whatever a person's after. So some of the nuts and bolts is just, again, besides getting to know what they want and when they want to retire, how to structure things so they know their money will last. I don't want people worried about their retirement. I don't want them focused on money.
Yeah, I've got a number here, a couple of numbers I think that are going to blow your hair back, Dale. This is unbelievable. Americans have forgotten or left behind an estimated $2.1 trillion in roughly 31.9 million 401k accounts. 2.1. The average amount is about almost $67,000 per abandoned account. How again do you think that happened? You said that sometimes people will leave stuff behind, former employer. How do you forget money? I can understand forgetting your hat on the hook behind the door when you're leaving. I can understand, leaving a plant for a coworker going, "Hey, I'm moving on to the next place. You go ahead and keep that." But leaving your cash, how does that happen?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it can. People change jobs. They get focused on that new career, a new job. I don't get it either. I don't know how necessarily that happens, but it can. And that's a lot of money to be, leaving, what you said, over $1 trillion?
$2.1 trillion. $2.1 trillion. Almost 39 million different accounts. That means... if
that's more than pocket.
Yeah,
more than pocket change, right?
Yeah, 66,000 on average. I thought that I was going to think that number was going to be a lot smaller. I thought it was like, hey, maybe you worked at a job for 7 or 8 months and something happened and you just started to contribute, and maybe you didn't think there was much there. But my gosh, 66,000 on an average. That's like 2 years or more of savings plus growth.
Yeah, it's baffling. And I can see, let's say you work for a company and you had 100,000 in that 401k and you went over to another company and you didn't think to move it yet because, you're still working. So you didn't think you could move it when you can because you're no longer with the former company. But let's say you didn't think you could, and then something happens and that person, is either killed or unable to handle their financial affairs. Then the family might not even know that it's over there. So I can see some strange circumstances like that, but that's still quite a bit of money to be left behind and unnecessarily. I encourage people to know how to make their money work for them, for their future, according to their needs, wishes, their goals. And sometimes when people we sit down, review things, they've got it handled. I've got a couple I've known for probably close, a couple decades. And he's always managed his own IRA. He watches the market, he studies it, and that's fine. We have some other little accounts that set up to for his wife and for other purposes, but in fact, I just saw him recently, and he's handling it. There's no need for me to dive in the middle of it and say you got to do it this way when he's got it under control. And for him, it's been maintaining because he's on it. He's that's his hobby type of thing.
Okay, but for other people who it's not its hobby, for people who just lose it, people who it's not fun for them to watch. How
about like he knows if something happens to him. Well, he knows I'm going to help her to know how then to manage it for her, the remainder of her life. So they've got help, but I don't need to push him to move it over to, under our umbrella of taking care of his money if he's got it handled, So, but yeah, people, you don't need to leave money behind. And if you think you might have some money with a former employer, well, let's put our heads together. We know how to help you track it down too.
Dale, I'm sure, has some resources, and I had one right here. Darn it, it left right in front of me. There it is. On the U.S. Department of Labor website. So usdepartmentoflabor.gov. I'd say go ahead and Google that because I don't have the website up. But there's a retirement savings lost and found. Now, they might not have everything, but I think, I would imagine it's probably based like on your social security number, and it can help you find things because we had a question like this. I want to say a couple of months ago at the end of one of your live events, somebody said, I think I have several retirement accounts. I'm just somebody who, I left, I move on to the next job. And they said, I think I have a few, where do I get started? And I know you said that you can help them, but if you want to look on your own, a place to get started, what else do you like to do to help people find them? Do you do a search on their social security number and look for?
Well, actually
accounts?
you can, in California, you can go to the unclaimed money or something like that. So you could type in a name and it'll show, is there some unclaimed money? Because sometimes if you've not managed or, been involved in an account for over an extended period of time, they will transfer it to the state and it's unclaimed property. So sometimes we can find it that way, but sometimes it's a matter of, well, I used to work for XYZ company. So we contact them and then who's the custodian? We contact the, Fidelity or Vanguard or whoever was handling it. And from there, there's ways to do it. And I don't want to go into all the boring details.
We can help you find it, is what we're saying. We can try to help you find it. If you're overwhelmed by that idea, it is your money, though. And if you are trying to prepare yourself for retirement, even a 1 year's worth of savings could have grown in the accounts themselves. It's worth getting that, letting the compounding work. Make sure we're maximizing every dollar you have, especially if you have old floating out there retirement accounts. Call the phone number. Let us help you with that. It might even be something we can start to just help you with over the phone. But when you call, you're going to schedule a time and we'll get a phone call or a Zoom or in person, whatever you prefer. 833-856-1382. Phone number. Dial it, set up a time, or go to the website. You can click on my free portfolio review, and that'll get you started on a conversation as well. Soutas.com is where to go. Soutas.com. More with Dale Soutas, your financial advisor right here in California, right after this.
Are you worried about taxes eating into your retirement savings? By engaging in savvy tax planning, you might be able to create greater tax efficiency in your retirement plan. At Soutas Financial, our team of retirement planning specialists can help you explore tax-deferred and tax-free investment options, as well as strategies to help potentially minimize your tax burden in retirement. Don't let taxes derail your retirement plans. Call 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
Is having $1 million enough to retire? For years, many have considered this to be the goal amount to have for retirement savings, $1 million. But that's the million-dollar question. Is that enough for today's modern retiree? Are you sure you've saved enough for a 25 or 30-year retirement? Are you concerned about covering large expenses, including taxes and long-term care? If so, you're not alone. But there is a solution. With a comprehensive financial plan, you can take control of your finances to help you achieve your long-term goals. With Soutas Financial, let us help you work towards peace of mind by implementing a complete retirement strategy. Call 833-856-1382.
This is Retire Your Way with financial advisor Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial. Your practical guide today to retirement planning strategies is what we're talking about. Talking about investments and have you saved enough? That's a lot on the dollars and cents in the accounts. How about this? You did say in the very beginning that practical guides are important to include your tax planning. So how do you know if doing something like a Roth conversion, paying some of the taxes on your tax-deferred accounts now to create tax-free income later, how do you know if a Roth conversion is right for someone, is right for a couple? Is there an age? Is there a dollar amount? What helps you determine it?
There's a lot to consider when we look at Roth conversions, and basically it's going to sting no matter if we, what amounts we do. It's going to be, that hurts a little bit financially, but the long-term goals will far outweigh the short-term pain. It's kind of like you got to take this procedure to get better. Well, it's going to hurt, and the therapy, okay, but the end result is, better abilities, better movement, all this good stuff. So it all depends. Sometimes I have people, I've got a couple, they're both working, they're making, quite a bit. And it doesn't really make sense to push them way above where they're at tax bracket wise to start doing Roth conversions now. Once they retire, their income will be lower, and that would be the time to do it. But then, we have ones who, why should I worry about converting it? It's, we're fine right now. But like we were talking earlier, what about your spouse? What about, those that are going to inherit this money? How are they doing? And sometimes the kids are financially doing better, making more money than we are. And so when we leave that tax-deferred money, that 401k, IRA, TSP, TSA, all those.
No, TSP. TSA is who checks you in at the airport.
Yeah, whatever, TSA. I get all those acronyms. Well,
but it's all tax-deferred is what you're saying, the tax-deferred stuff.
Yeah. So the TSA is tax-sheltered annuity. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's the government one? How come I'm saying it wrong?
Yeah. Well, the TSP, the thrift savings plan.
Thrift savings plan. I had it right. You're confusing me with logic.
The TSA, you're saying the tax-sheltered annuity. But yeah, when you said TSA, I'm like, wait a minute, that's who?
Yeah, a TSA is the same as a 403B. 403Bs are tax-sheltered annuities. Okay, regardless. Okay, so you've got all this money, and you're sitting fine, your income's fine, yet be realistic. Again, if you die, your spouse is now at the high single tax rates, and if your goal is to, leave money to the kids, leave a legacy, and you've not, taken advantage of converting now, what's their tax rates way down the road? What kind of, especially if they've got, decent income, you're just creating a bigger tax bomb for them. It's nice they inherit this extra money, but a real example of the problem is I had a lady I knew, a couple decades ago, and we're talking, and she says, yeah, my mom died. And I'm sorry to hear that, and last year. And so she says, yeah, I inherited, this, that, and the other, and this $90,000 I inherited, and I used it to pay off my car, and I paid down some debt, and da-da-da-da-da. But I got a 1099, and that $90,000 was taxable. And I said, well, she was questioning, well, how come I have to pay tax on money I inherited? And I said, well, can you go look up what kind of account that was? Did it say IRA on it? And she called back a few days later and said, yep, it did. So she didn't know what she was inheriting. Fine, maybe mom didn't need to do Roth conversions back then, but still, sometimes even the beneficiaries don't know what they're inheriting and how it's taxable or not. So I encourage ones, if a loved one passes away and you're due to inherit whatever, have some help. It doesn't cost a dime to know even how to administer the trust assets. Do you have to pay an attorney to walk you through a trust? Typically, no. The attorneys I know will say, call Soutas office. They'll walk you through what to do if mom and or dad dies, on how to make sure things pass through the trust and otherwise. So, but they have other accounts outside the trust that you need to know, are they taxable or not? Speaking of, we're kind of jumping off Roth conversions, but still a problem I see a lot of times, mom and dad have saved money and they might name one child. They have 3 or 4 children. They might name the oldest to inherit everything because they're going to share it with their siblings. Well, that's a nice idea, but let's say there's $300,000 in an IRA. There's 3 children. It all goes to the one child, and he or she wants to pass the other share, $100,000 each to her siblings. Well, she has to pay tax on that $300,000 or whatever she gives to her siblings. Whereas if the parents titled the beneficiaries to equally get, then each of them are, having to pay taxes on what they inherit, up to, spread it out over 10 years is the current rule on that type of money. But in other words, just basic things that people need to know about. Roth conversions, how do we determine? Sometimes I'll even show people by delaying to start Social Security after retirement, you have a little lower income. If it works in your plan, that's the time to do more of the Roth conversions and pay the tax now, not later. Have that converted money growing so that all that growth and the future principal is completely tax-free to use. Keep Uncle Sam out of that money down the road. But we've got a plan for different things. Like you do large amounts of Roth conversions and you're already on Medicare A and B, your B premium, you got what they call the IRMA surcharges. It's a hidden tax. So when your income, single or married, exceeds certain limits, then they start increasing that Part B premium, which in 2026 is only $202.90, so $203 a month. But you could push that up, in excess, of even $400 or $500 a month by not paying attention to how to manage the tax brackets and your overall income. So there's a lot of things to consider in doing a Roth conversion, and we like to show people, how it can benefit them, but the pros and cons of doing it and how to do it wisely.
To me, it sounded a little bit like you were dancing around Roth conversion helps with the estate planning, meaning leaving more for the spouse, leaving more for the kids, getting tax efficient with it, because we don't know where tax rates are going to go. I mean, we know where they are right now, but unless you've got Merlin's mind and can
be realistic. We're at U.S. currently is at the third lowest tax rates in U.S. history. When Reagan made movies, he only made 2 movies. Why? Because he got $100,000 each. In his day, everything above $200,000 was taxed at 94%. He wasn't dumb. He knew how to play the game. So where will tax rates be down the road? Who knows? But with the national debt not 30-something trillion, it's actually over 200-something trillion, likely they have to go higher down the road, 5-10 years or more. There'd be other ways they can possibly raise revenue, but taxes is, easy target, so to speak. So if tax rates are going to go up through the years, how about lowering them now while, for all practical purposes, taxes are on sale? So, we do encourage Roth conversions for you, and it also can help your spouse and or your beneficiaries. And even if you're single, it might be wise to look at how to do the Roth conversion. So and plus you don't have to take any minimums off of it, because I have several people, they don't need the required minimum distributions from their tax deferred accounts down the road, but they have to take them. And if you don't have charities to divert some or all of it to, you're going to have to pay tax on it. So there's, like I said, there's a lot of fun things to look at when it comes to, your taxes in the future, leaving a good legacy, taking care of your spouse, all kinds of good things.
There's we started out by talking about the practical guide to retirement planning, and there's so much more to do, and we want to get all of the information out to our listeners as we possibly can. We didn't talk about Social Security timing. I was just reading some articles recently on some new suggestions that people have on trying to shore it up, and is it going to be enough? And what exactly do you do with your estate plan, and how and when do you get started, and how do we cover things like long-term care, and is it even possible today to downsize, with costs of real estate? So we're going to continue our practical guide to retirement planning next week with Dale Soutas. But right now, a practical thing for you to do is to call the phone number, set up your time, let us help you with your review so you don't have to do this on your own. There's no cost, there's no obligation. All you have to do is reach out to us and set up a time. I'll give you a couple of different ways. They're all free for you. Call the phone number or go to the website. 833-856-1382 is the number for you to call. It's going to go to our call center, and they'll schedule a time for you. Or go to the website, Soutas.com. Click on my free portfolio review, Soutas.com. Dale has got an entire team of people there helping figure out exactly what we need to do. We've got folks who are going to take your information. We've got Dale who's going to analyze your information. We've got folks who can help with Medicare and all of our long-term care solutions here in the state of California. We've got estate planning professionals, tax reviewers, Dale himself leading the charge. So call so you can speak with the entire team of Soutas Financial right now. Thanks so much for listening to Retire Your Way with Dale Soutas. I'm Spike. We'll both be back again next weekend.
Comments regarding a particular client's experiences and outcomes may or may not be the same as another client's experience and could differ substantially, and is not an indication that any client or prospective client will experience the same or a higher level of future success or performance. This is not endorsed or affiliated with the Social Security Administration or any U.S. government agency. A Roth conversion may not be suitable for your situation. The primary goal in converting retirement assets into a Roth IRA is to reduce the future tax liability on the distributions you take in retirement or on the distributions of your beneficiaries. The information provided is to help you determine whether or not a Roth IRA conversion may be appropriate for your particular circumstances. Please review your retirement savings, tax, and estate/legacy planning strategies with your legal/tax advisor to be sure a Roth IRA conversion fits into your planning strategies. This is not endorsed or affiliated with any federal Medicare program, nor any U.S. government agency. If applicable, we do not offer every plan available in your area, and contacting us will direct you to a licensed insurance agent. Any information we provide is limited to those plans we do offer in your area. Please contact Medicare.gov or 1-800-MEDICARE to get information on all of your options.
Investment advisory services are offered through Foundations Investment Advisors, LLC, Foundations, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The content provided is intended for informational and educational purposes only. The views, statements, and opinions expressed herein are those of the individual speakers and not necessarily those of Foundations and its affiliates. The information contained herein does not constitute an offer to sell any securities or represent an express or implied opinion or endorsement of any specific investment opportunity, offering, or issuer. Any discussion of performance or returns is not indicative of future results. Any discussions of specific strategies are for informational purposes only and have been provided to help determine whether they may be appropriate for your specific situation. If applicable, the primary goal is converting retirement assets into a Roth IRA is to reduce the future tax liability on the distributions you take in retirement or on the distributions of your beneficiaries. Each individual investor's situation is different, and any ideas provided may not be appropriate for your particular circumstances. Comments regarding a particular client's experience may or may not be the same as another client's experience and is not an indication that any client or prospective client will experience the same or a higher level of future success or performance. Foundations only transacts business in those jurisdictions where it's properly registered or is excluded or exempted from registration requirements. Registration as an investment advisor is not an endorsement of the firm by securities regulators and does not mean the advisor has achieved a specific level of skill or ability. Nothing herein constitutes a recommendation that any security, portfolio, or securities or investment strategy is suitable for any specific person. No legal or tax advice is provided. Please review your retirement, tax, and estate legacy planning strategies with a legal tax professional before transacting or implementing any strategies discussed herein. Any comments regarding safe and secure investments and guaranteed income streams refer only to fixed insurance products. They do not in any way refer to investment advisory products. Rates and guarantees provided by insurance products and annuities are subject to the financial strength of the issuing insurance company, not guaranteed by any bank or the FDIC. This is not endorsed or affiliated with the Social Security Administration, any federal Medicare program, nor any U.S. government agency. If applicable, we do not offer every plan available in your area, and contacting us at the phone numbers provided herein will direct you to a licensed insurance agent. Any information we provide is limited to those plans we do offer in your area. Please contact Medicare.gov or 1-800-MEDICARE to get information on all your options. All rights reserved.